Hey guys, I'm back. So let's talk about this review for Ghost Book Two, Power Book Two. This is Tariq and Braden. They are now adjusting to life in college, and well, Braden doesn't attend there, but Tariq has been juggling three jobs to pay for, to supplement the financial aid that he's receiving. For those of you that don't remember, Therese lost his trust account. He invested all of it in in Braden's family company, which turned out to be a Ponzi scheme. All the money was lost, and basically, Braden's family is now seemingly broke. And the Weston name is no longer a name of power and respect at Stansfield University. So the library that was named after them has been taken down. We saw in this most recent episode, let's see, Becca, I think, is Braden's sister, younger sister. She's being put out of her dorm room. Initially they didn't have to pay for anything to attend the university, but now that, again, the Weston name is no longer, I don't know, it's no longer viable. She has to find another place to live if she wants to continue, while continuing to attend Stansfield. Now, we also should remember that Braden was kicked out. Remember, last season he was kicked out of Stansfield for at least a semester. And I guess with everything that's happened, he has not been allowed back in. So they're at Stansfield, and here's life as we know it. Now, what are they going to do for money? So we see them selling their cars. They have one, I think Porsche. I think, who has the Porsche? Tariq had a Porsche, and I forget what Braden had. But nonetheless, fancy cars. They got to sell these cars because they need to get back in the game. They need to start pulling weight, selling weight, and on campus. But how are they going to do that? They got to take out the distributors currently that's out there running in the game in order to break into it some type of way. It's a complicated process, and really what Tariq did in this episode was he talked to Davis, asked Davis, how can he get back in the game? What does he need to do? Davis called in a favor from one of the individuals that he know that runs this fight ring or fight club, as well as, he sells, or he has weight out there on the street. So this is the way that Tariq and Brain are going to get in, by becoming the next distributors, but not being known that that's what they're doing, because they got to stay low key. It can't be known that they're doing this. And, because one of the main reason for the ceasefire against them with Norma was that they can't be pushing weight. That's the main thing, right? So they got to figure out a way to be as low key as possible, but also getting rid of the competition on campus. Well, at least part of the competition. One of the competition on campus is Effie. We know Effie's out there doing her thing, but we got to move out the way the other competition, or make it appear as though there's other competition. That's what they did. So Tariq took some of the product that was at the guy from Fight Club, what they're selling. He brings it to Effie. Now, he don't deal with Effie, right? He was like, look, what's going on here? What is this new stuff here? And of course, knowing that Effie was going to bring it to Norma's attention. Kane was very suspicious about this new product, wondering where did she get the product from. She never said Tariq's name, but Kane is very suspicious. A lot of people were thinking that Kane isn't that smart. He's just a hothead that just, run out there, just do whatever. But Kane does think about things now. He does pay attention, and he does add things up, and he's looking around and he's seeing how things is moving. So when Tariq gave Effie the product, she, as he expected, she went to Kane. She talked to Kane about it. Then they both went to Norma, and they discussed, there's this product out there. I don't know where it came from, blah, blah, blah. So this is in an attempt to really get rid of the competition, which is what they did. They actually went out there and not really self-implode, but they kind of messed up, whoever this other competition was that they thought was on campus. Come to find out, Kane talked to one of the individuals that work for, I guess, this guy Zion, whoever, who happens to know Ghost or happened to know Ghost. So the guy was like, "Look, I don't know who Stansfield is. I ain't never been up there." So Kane is looking at the situation after they done blew up this wherever this place that they had product at. Kane's talking to one of the individuals. He is really coming to the conclusion like there really wasn't a competition. This really isn't being sold at the campus, but that somehow it's being made to look like it so that someone else can sneak in and actually start pushing this product. I think Kane is on to this probably as a Tariq setup. I think Kane has been around Tariq long enough to know how Tariq makes his move. It was a nice plan by Tariq, don't get me wrong. But I think Kane is on to him as it pertains to this new product being sold on campus. Now, what we are seeing a lot since the beginning of this season is the parallel between Tariq Braden, and then we had the parallel between Ghost and Tommy. All of their lives is playing out in the younger version, Tariq and Braden, which means that this isn't going to work out very positively, especially for Tariq. Okay. Now, if we look back at Ghost's past, Ghost is married to Tasha, right? It wasn't necessarily because he was in love with Tasha. Tasha got pregnant and he ended up marrying her. Now, I don't know if it was just because she was pregnant or to protect himself from the law. I think it was a combination of both things. And if history is looking to be repeating itself, we know that Diana's pregnant. We find out in the last episode that Diana is pregnant. With that being said, it appears that when we get to a point where Diana is confronted by Tariq, which we saw in the preview, she's going to let him know that she's pregnant, that it is his child. And ultimately, if everything plays out the way we think it's going to play out, he's going to end up marrying Diana. Okay? I think it's going to get to a point to protect himself against Detective Carter. He's going to have to marry Diana. So it's going to be a forced situation, almost like what his father and Tasha went through. That's not where his heart was or is, but that's just how it seemed to be playing out. When we look over at Braden already trying product out. He's using. He down there in the student center looking at one of the young ladies. I don't know if she's a student or if she's just there to to entertain. I don't know if she's a student, but he likes her. She's doing product. She offers a little product to him. He does it. He comes up with this idea to sell product down at the student center to Tariq. Now, Tariq ain't 100% on board with it at first, but then it looks like the more Braden was being the salesman that he is, because he's more of the salesperson, Tariq was like, okay, I think we can do this. I think this is our way in. Now, I don't know how he thinks he's going to be able to do this without Effie figuring out what's going on. I just don't know how that's going to work, but that's the plan. I think that's where they're going with this. Now, meanwhile, let's take a look at Monet. Monet is trying to work her way back into the game. She's already figuring out that Norma doesn't want to deal with her, especially after last episode where Monet went and interrupted this transaction that was going to happen with the Russians. She messed up the whole situation. So she's been iced out and, she's still recovering. She had major surgery and it's just not looking like she's in the game right now. And it's going to be very hard for her to get back into it. She's got some suspicions when it comes to Diana. Initially, it was Kane she was suspicious, but now listening to Diana's story, listening to what Tariq is saying, Tariq told her, hey, look, you gave, you went and gave, Tommy Egan my mom's address so that he can go in and get her. And she was like, I don't even know who, Kate Egan is, which is Tommy Egan's mother. She said, I don't even know no Kate Egan. So when Monet questions both Dru and Diana about what's been going on, about them trying to figure out things and all of that about who came after her, she can see the same, because they do a flashback, the very same fidgeting that Diana used to do as a little girl when she was not telling the truth. She does it as an adult. She has some kind of way she fidgets with her hand, and Monet noticed it. And so Monet is already on that something isn't right with Diana. She's lying about something. She don't know what she's lying about, and she don't know why she's lying. When, the funny thing was when Monet went and talked to her cousin Jackie, she was like, I don't understand, I think Diana done lied to me. I don't know why she lied. And Jackie was like, girl, the way you've treated those children and forced them into this lifestyle and everything, you don't understand why they would not tell you the truth. Come on now. So that's not enough for Monet. She's still bent on trying to figure out who came after her and put her in this very bad situation. She almost lost her life. Now, meanwhile, we got Dru, who I don't understand, is attempting to become the new leader of the underworld, if you will. Like he wants to be the number two guy for Norma. And it's baffling to me how I feel like he's not all in. I feel like Dru is he's just losing it. I think he's very erratic, and it's very far different than the Dru that we met at the beginning of this whole book. So now, if you remember, in order for Dru to do this, he's got to come up with some kind of scam scheme to get Obi out the way. So Obi, who has been sidestepping this whole season, he's just been sidestepping. He has not been doing his best. He gets arrested, and he doesn't tell Detective Carter anything. But when Detective Carter asked if he knew Tariq St. Patrick, because he was really getting on him about these green cards, because he tried to go there with the whole organization, figuring out that asking about that. And, Obi was like, I don't know anything about that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know no congressman. And he was telling the truth. He didn't know this congressman. So Carter was like, okay, you probably don't know the congressman that helped you get these green cards for your family, but who you do know is St. Patrick, Tariq St. Patrick. And, he pulled this folder out. I was hoping Obi would take a look at it, but instead he was like, look, I just need to call. I need to make a phone call. Kind of gave himself away with Carter. Carter knows now that Obi has a connection to Tariq. Okay. Kind of gave himself away. He should have looked. Come to find out it was a bluff. So when Norma's looking for Obi's gone dark. She doesn't understand what's going on. She's already suspicious about these green cards. She don't know what Obi's trying to pull here. And come to find out, Dru goes over to Obi's brother's house, who now has a green card. And the brother's talking way too much, tells Dru all about, oh yeah, I got these green cards and this and that and the third. So Dru already done figured out who helped him get the green cards, right? Because Kane ain't helped him get no green card. So he already done figured out it was Tariq who helped this man get the green cards in order for him to help him. So Dru gonna use that against Obi. So Dru contacts Davis McLean. Davis McLean sends his employee, the young lady that he's dealing with, okay? Sends her down to the station. She makes a plea, a case, whatever. She gets Obi out. So Dru takes Obi back to Norma's place. And this is when Dru turns, because Obi has said, don't mention anything about me getting arrested. Just leave all this alone. I'll handle Norma. Well, as we know, Dru trying to get into his spot, Dru blurts out about the cards, the green cards, and how Tariq helped him. And Norma was like, oh, so you're the one that helped Tariq escape, because it was his day to be deleted. And you helped him get out of that situation. This is what it all comes down to. And Kane looking at him like, okay. And so, of course, that was the end of Obi. We know that didn't end. We saw Obi's days was counted, was going to be not that many days left ahead of him. And sure enough, Obi was, that was it for Obi. So who's going to get into that spot? And it looks like Kane might get into that spot, because we see how Kane makes a play. They were already, earlier, Kane had been talking to Norma. and they got a little close. Effie walks in on this. She notices this. She gives him kind of a look, but she didn't say anything till later on because Kane's still questioning her about this new product that's on campus and where does she get it from. And then she's talking about, look, she's still trying to complete her application for Stanford because she wants to get into this robotics program. That's her main thing. She said, look, I missed the interview because I came out to save you. And while Kane is doing the jealousy thing, also kind of also looking at her sideways, the trust thing, you know, Effie turned it around and was like, well, it's not like I didn't see you all up on Norma. Kane, him, and Han. Now, yeah, Effie noticed it. She saw what the game is. And Effie already like, I see you. I'm hoping you don't see me because I'm trying to get up out of here. This is her exit plan is to go to Stansfield. I'm going to say this right now. I don't think she's going to make it. I think we're seeing way too much of Effie now trying her best to get into Stanford, into this robotics program. I think her dream is going to come down to an end, and it probably will be at the hands of Kane. I'm guessing Kane. I don't even think we're gonna see Effie in the next part um, of the book. I think Effie by episode 5. I think Effie gonna be gone. I think they're gonna get rid of Effie. I think if she isn't gone by episode 5, absolutely at the beginning of episode 6. So that's that. I didn't say much about Davis. Davis is still, on suspension right now with the Bar Association. And so now he's going to have to, he's going to utilize Tariq, getting some money off of Tariq as Tariq gets back into the game. That's where he's going to be making his money right now because he can't represent anybody. We saw him with the client who was like, look, your license is not even valid anymore. It's suspended, whatever. I need to go where, I need to go someplace else. So Davis is, we know how money hungry Davis is. I think that Davis is going to use Detective Carter to get his license back. Because, Detective Carter said he knows some fancy people on the board that could possibly get him reinstated. I think that Davis McClain is going to give some valid and good information to Carter, just enough for Carter to kind of be in the right direction. But he's going to warn Tariq what's going on. That's why I think he's going to go with it. He don't want to look so obvious that he's running to a dead end, but he's going to do something or give him something to get him going point him in the right direction. So I think that's where we're going with that. So with that being said, we get some information from Pinky. Remember, Pinky is working with Tariq, and Pinky gets the ring camera video from Katie Egan's house. He went. Well, I don't know if Pinky is. I think Pinky is supposed to be a woman. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say they. Pinky went by the house. Katie is not there. Now, as we know, if we watch Force, Katie has been in Chicago, and Pinky lets Tariq know that Katie hasn't been at the house for quite some time. But they were able to get the footage off the camera, and that's where we see on the camera it is Diana, talking to Katie and, putting all the info out there. So Pinky sends that video footage not only to Tariq, but also sends it to Monet. Now, at the dinner table, they're having a final dinner for Miss Jackie. Jackie's leaving. The funniest part, Jackie wanted Kane to say grace. And Dru said, He said, not this demon sitting up here trying to say grace. That ain't gonna work. I hollered. But when we get the video and Monet's looking at it, what she was suspecting about Diana now is coming to fruition. And you can see she's heated. And she gives the phone over to Kane. Kane sees what's going on. And Monet quickly realizes that both Dru and Diana were in on this scheme. So I wish they would have let Monet would have grabbed Diana, but they didn't let that happen. Diana and Dru run out the house. Kane runs after them, but he doesn't do anything yet. So we're building up to the point where this is going to be like a Cain and Abel type situation. We're seeing where Cain versus Dru is going to come to a head. And how that's going to end, I don't know. I still think Cain's going to be around. I don't know, but one of them not going to make it. It's going to be one not going to be standing at the end. That really is the whole episode. That's the episode in a nutshell. I am very curious. Now, here's some things that I would say for Miss Norma. You never have your people come to you where you actually live. You have a meeting spot. They should never know where you live. That was to me not a good look. Secondly, Norma, they saw your both Kane and Effie saw your daughter. Another bad thing. You've exposed yourself. One thing about Obi was very careful about you not being exposed. Now you've exposed yourself. Not a good look. And then, you know, Norma getting with Kane probably is her undoing because Kane is not loyal. Obi was trying to be loyal. He did whatever he could to make sure he protected her identity. Kane ain't on that same page. So that's all I got for the show. Very good episode. I will be back next week to give my follow up for the next episode. Peace.